What is this wooden thing with strings and pegs hanging off of it, found in Nova Scotia, Canada? Around 20 inches tall, and there are holes for the pegs to fit into. I can't tell you much else about it. Does anybody know what it is? It's a traverse board, used for dead reckoning navigation at sea. It's a very important device used on board ships during the Spanish Armada era, even up to the Napoleonic era. The board allows you to record the course and speed that was traveled over a certain amount of time, usually one watch. That in turn gives you a rough idea of distance traveled and location. The top part is used to record the heading and would often have a compass rose painted on it. The bottom section records the speed in knots. 2 pegs are inserted each half hour, 1 turn of a ship's hourglass, 1 for the heading and 1 for the speed. What is this contraption on the kitchen sink of a house built in 1955 in Colorado? I don't have any higher resolution photos, unfortunately. It looks like it's integrated into the sink, perhaps a water heater of some sort. The house was last sold in 1972, and it doesn't look like it's had any substantial upgrades since then. Any ideas? It's called the Electro Sink Center, made by the Electro Way Corporation in the early 60s. It makes ice cream and salad dressing while mixing cake and washing up, and according to the invoice, it cost $449 in 1964. Adjusted for inflation, that thing cost around $4,000 today. My boyfriend got a 1968 National Airlines lunchbox with this picture on the front. What are the sunglasses or goggles things the stewardesses are wearing? Any ideas? They're ski goggles from the late 1960s, but they didn't work very well. The 1960s airline fashion was something else. An oversized visor with sweeping amber-tinted curved lens helped to promote the sun theme the airline was now marketing itself as. And in the 1960s, it was all about the space age. What is this 16 feet 6x6 large hollow beam with a lever, found in a pile of old beams in my barn? I have no idea what it is for. It has a metal badge that says Ferber Brothers. Any ideas? It's a 19th century pump. That whole hollow beam gets driven into the ground, with the other nearby pieces as extensions to go deeper. Yours has the same curves carved out of it, and they both have some type of strap on the same side as the handle. I'll bet if you turn yours around, it has a place for a spigot. What is this contact block of sorts found in the rafters of my basement, held with a couple of nails? It is a 2.5-inch square piece of plastic with 2 red terminals on the top and 3 brass threaded ends with springs and hex nuts, and the red bolts say Sylvania on it. Can you please help me identify what this thing is? I worked on this equipment for a couple of years back in the 1960s. This is an old-style lightning arrestor for wired telephone service. The 2 wires from the pole go to the left and right studs, as do the 2 wires into the house leading to the phone. The center post goes to a ground rod. The 2 hex nuts at the top can be removed. Inside, you should find a gap made by an insulator ring between 2 polished hard carbon or graphite discs. The gap between the 2 is small, and static charge jumps the gap to protect the equipment. Normally, these are mounted on the exterior, a foot or so above the ground. What is this thing that looks like a bottle cap with a thread on the inside? My brother found it in the woods in Slovenia. It's a lightweight, non-magnetic metal, probably aluminum, and stamped "Remove before firing" with a counterclockwise pointing arrow underneath. Any insights would be appreciated. It's the fuse cap from a World War II 2-inch mortar. It was a British mortar issued to the British Army and the Commonwealth armies that saw use during the Second World War and later. It was more portable than larger mortars, and the 2-inch had greater range and firepower than rifle grenades. What are these 3 little pigs in what appears to be possibly plated metal? About 4 inches wide, 3.5 inches tall, and marked WE Manufacturing Company and C23 on the back bottom rim. There are no signs of old wax, and it is not a typical candle holder base, so probably not. But then what? It's a pigs-themed cast metal salt and pepper shaker holder from the 1930s. Here's another one I found on eBay with a pepper shaker still on it, listed for $54. What is this dark gray metal cabinet with a hinged metal door, different sized cubbies, and a sliding metal platform? Approximately 2 feet high by 1 foot wide, and it's in the hallway between the kitchen and bedroom. The long piece slides down and then folds up so the door can close. It doesn't have any writing or marks that I can see. The house is from the 1930s, if that helps. My first thought was that it used to have an ironing board on it, and it flips down for your ironing, but I'm not sure. Any ideas as to what it is? It's the shoe shine station, a shoe care cabinet, probably original to the house. My great-aunt called hers a polishing stand. The sliding metal platform is where you put your shoe to be polished. What is this wooden implement with a taped handle and made in Pakistan? I got this from my dad, who got it from his stepdad. About 31 inches long, 3 inches wide at the bottom, and light but solid. The tape on the handle looks fairly new, and it doesn't look to have had any wear or damage, and no history as to what it was used for. Any ideas? It's an antique cricket bat, and they haven't looked like that since the early 1800s. It certainly started life as a cricket bat, but I have no idea why it's been sanded down on the sides though. Probably worn and repaired. I have seen a few bats like these, usually played with tennis balls on streets or in parks of cities. What is this tool found in the kitchen at an estate sale? The bars on the side push the ends closer together as they're slid down and grip pretty tight. It might have been wall-mounted based on the holes at the top and bottom. I think the text on the engraved portion says, American Industrial Company, Chicago, and the inner portion with the 2 stars says, patented. We had thought that it might be for champagne corks, as someone else has suggested. Does anyone know what this would be used for? Please tell us down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.